Arsenal 1, Manchester United 0. At home at Old Trafford, it wasn't a glorious win as the scores looked. It was a given from Bayindir, and Calafiori came in and swept up the easiest goal he'll ever get at Old Trafford. So let's talk about how Arsenal managed to pull this off. But the difference just came in early. 13 minutes in, Declan Rice just whipped in that corner, just Pirlo-esque, right into Bayindir's palm, and guess what? Calafiori was there to just head in an open goal that, if he would have missed, it would have been questions. But he didn't miss, it was straight in. But the issue is, was Saliba fouling Mount? Was he fouling Bayindir? Who knows, but you can't rely on referees giving you calls such as that in such tight games as well. You can't rely on such scrappiness that you suppose that it will get turned the other way. As United, we've got to command them games. We had 22 shots on goal and one hit the post by Dorgu. And it just goes to show, if we can't execute on them goals, I know it's the first game, so expectations need to be somewhat set. We've got to be finishing them chances, and I think Arsenal fans would agree, and I think most United fans would agree, that we should have won that game. Dorgu hitting that post from left back, literally driven from his own half, took it all the way and just slap bang in the post. But Arsenal are set piece kings. They've scored 31 goals from set pieces, and that's something they've been working on for the past 2 years. You think about last season when they jumped on the scene just scoring headers left, right and centre. They had PG or ML change the rules just for them, where you can foul the goalkeeper and start barging them, pushing them out of the way, and it just doesn't count. So, and we saw that with De Ligt as well when we had a few corners. So it's important that we take on board as set pieces. We're not very good at set pieces, by the way, but we need to improve on that and just show that we can have it in our locker. But as to them, it's proof that they can just win ugly games. The tough 1-0 scrappy goals will get you the 3 points, and then the losing team will get 0. We felt outdone by not scoring, but at the end of the day, if we want to finish 5th, if we want to finish in Champions League spots, we've got to finish these games off. We've got to start them well, we've got to finish them well, and we've got to carry on and dig our heels in. So it's important that we take it on board that it's optimistic, and the grit and determination was there from what was there last season. Having these new signings in, Cunha and Buemo, Sesko coming in, they looked positive. They looked really engaged, so to speak. And it's just now a case of getting these games in their belt, getting them used to Premier League standards, and just allowing them to free flow and gel together as a unit. We've got rid of the problematic players, which we don't need to go into because they know who they are. But if we can drill the Amorim style, the Amorim belief, the Amorim identity and the culture, which he's done, I'd say, for the past season, there is something there, and there is something to be a fan about. So going into this Fulham game on Sunday, I believe, 4:30, that's going to be a good game. We've got to build upon what we did at Arsenal, and we can't go back, because there's been many times where we've been up for games against the top 6. We've looked on our day the best team. We play a mediocre team. We fall apart. It's consistency. So it's important we get consistent and show style and show the belief that we've put out in the Arsenal game. I'd say for me that Arsenal just rained down their defensive masterclass with Gabriel and Saliba. I'd say the man of the match were David Raya, holding it down. 6 saves from 7, shots on target. He was calm with the distribution of the ball, so you can't argue with that. They've been in these positions before for the past, I'd say, 2 years, fighting for second. They're used to this type of game. Even in Champions League, when they were playing Real Madrid, these games, they've got that experience under the belt. They've got that aura, but they're building something and they're getting close to it. And as to us, we're just on the start of something. We don't even know what that something is, but it's something. So it did look a bit ugly at times when Saliba fouled Cooney in the box, but at the end of the day, he did come in behind him. It was a foul, but we need to be finishing the chances. We looked better. We looked really better. And the way Mbeumo and Cunha drove the ball, I'm only pointing them out because there are two new players and they looked really fresh, even though Mbeumo hasn't had a full pre-season. So coming into that game, there were a bit of questions as to whether what would he actually do. And to be fair and class to him, he got on, wasn't moaning. He got on, got the grit in, determined to make some out of nothing pretty much. And same with Cunha, having that style where he brings that ball into feet and he drives at players. There was many times last season where we had Garnacho on the wing, Anthony on the wing, and it was just head down shooting from outside the box. And of course, there was times where it went in, but often too many times it probably ended up in, Rowe's head half the time. And us finishing 15th doesn't help when we need to have consistency. We need to pass the ball, make easy set chances. And that's where, in this game, Arsenal, this is what happened. We passed the ball about. We looked a team that just looks normal. I don't know if you can say that, but just a normal looking team where it's free flowing and it was passing and moving, one touch football here and there. And this was mightily positive. You can't have another season like that and then come into this season with the same kind of mentality. And with what's been happening in the summer transfer window, Amrim's obviously accepted what he's got, but there's 2 weeks left, so anything's up for debate. But he's cleared out the problematic issues that were causing us, I'd say, just not being consistent in front of goal. Defence for us last season was pretty good, but it was just a case of them winning an ugly game, and Arteta has been in that situation, so his game management in that is somewhat spectacular, because he's been able to grind out games like that, go to his trap card, his playing card, his other playing card, and score a header. So it's important we take it on the chin, get up for Fulham, and just make sure we just stay consistent. Even though Arsenal might have been somewhat fortunate in their playing style, playing antics. And just quickly as well, our weak points, goalkeeping. We've got two goalkeepers who just are not Premier League ready. We've got Bayindir who palms the ball into his own net. Of course his distribution was good, but distribution doesn't win you games. It's saving and punching the balls out your own goal that wins you games. And that particular moment cost us the game. And United know that they want a new goalkeeper. But if they don't want to go, you're stuck in that position as to think, well, we've either got to buy someone and force the issue, or we make do with what we've got and hobble along. But if we're in multiple games like that, where it's one goal that separates the 3 points, it's going to be a big problem. And also, our midfield, Ugarte struggled coming into that second half. I'm not saying it was his fault, but it's a sign that we've got players that are capable of playing together, but when they come on, it just seems that they're a shadow of themselves. Ugarte last season in certain games, he looked Premier League ready, but then in other games he looked a bit wayward. But obviously he's building up into that Premier League environment, so we've got to give him time as a player. We can't just write him off straight away, and it's what we've got to do with most of these players. We can't write these players off. Obviously our goalkeepers, it's a different story, so we just need new goalkeepers, full stop. But with players like Ugarte, your Sescos, your Leons, your Dorgus, your younger players as well, which is mostly important, we've got to give them patience. It's been too many times where us United, well, I say us United fans, but the board have just put us in precarious situations where patience is not given, and Amorim is building something that requires patience, and we've got to stick by that, and the board have obviously sticking by something, even though they're kind of backing him. It's like in and out backing. There's 2 weeks left, so hopefully they can make something of nothing, having the Belieber talks for what, God knows, wasting 2 weeks. But if we can bring a midfielder in, another goalkeeper, that just gives Bayindir and Anna something to think about at the back of their mind, saying, look, if you're going to perform like this week in, week out, you better get your act together, because I'm just going to play this guy in this bench that we've scouted ourselves, and I know for a fact he's got my backing, he's got the board's backing. We've had to make do with you. It's not Amorim signing these two players, they came under Ten Hag, so he's given them enough chances, but it's just down to the board to back Amorim that much further, which they need to do. But it's also that same problem. United in big games come up, and we've just got to show that in smaller games against Fulhams, against your Evertons, against your Forests. Teams like that, we need to dig our heels in. It's just really important that we do, and it's just one of them where we've just got to stay consistent, like I said before. If we can maintain that level of style and play against teams such as that, where, for example, Everton in pre-season, we struggled to break them down defensively, and they gave us a game in pre-season. So teams like that, where they know how to play us, they just drop back and let us bring the ball to them, and they just counter. We've got to know how to infiltrate the defence and penetrate their weak points. So I'm hopeful of Fulham. I'm sure we're going to break them down. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a win for United, but we'll see on Sunday. So just closing up, there's a big season ahead of us. There's multiple games where we need to win, most of them. Newcastle got 5th by losing 12 games, so that's our benchmark of standard. We shouldn't be losing 12 games anyways, United. We can't. As a United fan, I just don't want to be losing 12 games, but if that's what got them Champions League spot this last season, that's what we've got to be aiming for. We've got to be coming in them games ready, match ready, sharpness in our mindset. And with Amorim building that culture in the off-season, in the pre-season, there's that identity that we've been missing. There's that energy, there's been that focus, there's been that tactical fans that us United fans can be hopeful about and be optimistic. But if we can fix our finishing issues, which I'm sure we will, because we're going to gel in at some point, and it's just a matter of time, I think, with us. And we saw our goalkeeping somehow just takes us all the way through this season if we don't get a goalkeeper, because beggars can't be choosers. If we can't get a goalkeeper in, I'm sorry, but we've just got to make do with what we've got. If it's Anana in net and he palms stuff back into his own net, we're going to be coming at the board. But there's 2 weeks left, so hopefully we can manoeuvre our way into something to get these players a reality check. So it's important that we just get consistent, is what I'd say, rounding up. And this loss might be actually the start of something bigger, something to be hope. I mean, hope is it's a careful word. It's a very dangerous word, so to speak. But if we can just build upon this and stay consistent, I'm sure we're gonna have a good season. So come on, United, let's get into Fulham and let's give them a game.